Aloha guys, I wanted to share here, right over here, Neiman Marcus, Ala Shopping Center, and then right beyond us, we have down here where perhaps some less fortunate people who live outside may be. And I want to identify different features of what defines, rich versus poor, classy versus not, you know, happy and joyful and, you know, mentally healthy versus burdened, depressed, envious, and otherwise in an unhappy place. And there are different contributing factors, such as where the situation you're born into and what mental ability you have, genetically, and then possible mental injuries to the head or body. But those are the rare exceptions. Most people, at least in first world countries, have pretty equal opportunities. And it really, what it is it's a question. It's looking at the identifying things. What defines? First of all, I want to argue that it's most important to be joyful, and more than any physical accumulations that one can make, or even relationships with others, or even children and a spouse and everything. What's most important more than that is joy. And in order to achieve that state of joy, one has to have other elements met. But I'm suggesting that joy is a higher value than, say, terms like classy or rich or anything like that, because joy is an emotional state of being that kind of encompasses the more abstract concepts of, that person's rich, they're doing well, quote unquote, or money or people or relationships, suggesting that that's some type of a status symbol, like the person's quote unquote doing well. It's abstract, but what's concrete is joy. And of course there are responsibilities and being responsible and all practical things leading to a stable life. But the idea of somebody being high class or low class or rich or poor, I think, are also a little abstract. But what is concrete is, like I said, this idea of joy. So the follow-up question would be, what's the easiest way to achieve joy? And in my opinion, it's when basic needs are met. It's how one approaches the body and the desires. First of all, considering that the body is the number one thing that you value the most. And excuse me. The reason I say that is because, you wouldn't trade your fingers or sex organs or anything for millions of dollars. You want in your entire body, right? So why would you give it randomly to people, or call them a girlfriend, boyfriend, which means you don't actually love them, or try to seduce them, or paradoxically, you don't seduce people you respect, so you don't. It's about energy, okay? Wealth, joy. It's about feeling good, right? But the only way to feel good is if you have the energy that you need to pursue your dreams, and you're not just trying to randomly give it to random people in a quiet desperation that they might like you, or that hopefully they may be attracted to you. The principle of the dream mate, identifying features of how you identify, oh, this person might be my dream mate. Well, first of all, you want to, of course, know like your top 3 absolutes. Like, I absolutely have this certain diet and lifestyle, etc. And I absolutely do not want this certain type of diet or whatever. Right? You have to have your absolutes established, and those are you. You're your unique soul. It's who you are. Okay, and a dream mate is somebody who you want to be with even when they're older, through rich and poor. It's somebody who the concept of love has to do with feeling good around a person, such that you don't worry about whether they might not like you, or just the idea. Think about yourself as being already married, and imagine walking around already being married. No worry of having to impress other people or anything. That's joy and love. Love and joy are of course interconnected. It's a very clean emotion, and it's not interfered with by want for power or basic needs or desires to be met. And so the real question is, how do you meet this joyful place? One of the approaches is language, specificity of language. If you use terms like dreams and dream mate instead of terms like just spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, or other terms like somehow. By the way, check out some graffiti there. Interesting. All these various terms, and then how you describe other people. Like, people might randomly give their energy away to people. That's not I don't think that's a useful thing to do. You want to. Some people think, oh, you gotta give your energy to your family, but is that just biological or legally related? Or do you actually have what I call the dream team family, people who are on par with you, they're on the same page, and they actually are equal to you. There's no father-son. Instead, it's people who just equally have the same religion as you. And when I say religion, I'm talking about what I think is the most important thing, the way people treat their bodies. People say all these things about religion and prayer and all this stuff, but I think it's really boils down to the way you dress. If you're dressing respectfully, you think about why people wear like all this headwear and stuff. Like, it's to create a sense of privacy and respect for their own body and others. Like, they don't want to seduce others, and it's to introduce an air of formality, and you can speak more formally, like I was saying, thinking more formally. There are other things that you can do. You can wear a ring on your finger, indicating you're committed to yourself and your dreams, and hinting to others that you're, if not married, that you're of a certain persuasion or orientation towards marriage, and that you don't want any intimacy before marriage. And you just have to be able to ask quick qualifying questions of people. For example, ask yourself a question of, does this person, for example, I might ask, are they vegan, to determine if they're part of my dream, quote unquote, dream team, or if they're a dream mate, quote unquote, right? And on the same tangent. You know, there are just all these ways that we can qualify. But what I'm saying is that joy is a result of being committed to yourself and your dreams, and that's true love, commitment, and then you get joy. So go to that place, guys. Thanks for considering. Aloha.